I just finished a very nice book on my Kindle, and you know the drill. I'm here to talk about it as soon as I get done so that the thoughts are all fresh in my mind and I can have an honest review of what are my thoughts about the book. The book that I read recently was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. You would have seen this book in my book haul, library haul that I posted on my Instagram some time back. If you're not subscribed to my Instagram, the link is going to be in the description box below. I post a lot of things about my life there, and if you're interested in that, you can go and look at that page. But for now, let's get into this review and what do I actually think about this book. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pooja at A Book by the Window. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are reading good. Some books entertain, some books teach you. But Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin is the kind of book that lingers in your mind long after you are done reading the book. For me, right off the bat, I'm going to say that this was a top pick for me this year. It completely captivated me both in its complexity and in its depth. If you're a fan about stories, about connection, creativity, and the messiness in relationship, think of this as normal people, but for gamers. We will start with the plot of the book. The title is very interesting. That is what lured me into it, and also the very pretty hardcover that it had at the time when I picked it up from the library. But because I had a travel plan back to my home country, I had to return the books. What I did was I bought the book on my Kindle, and that's what I have been reading for the last 10 days or so. It has been a while I finished a book this quickly, and there were multiple reasons for it, which I'll go into the highlight of the book for me. But for the plot section of this video, I'm going to start by saying that this is a story about two gamers, not particularly gamers, but game designers, Sam and Sadie. Childhood friends who met when they were little kids, who bonded over their trauma, but more than that, they bond over their love for video games. Over the period of 30 years, we see them grow from just gaming enthusiasts to full-blown owner of a big gaming company where they are incepting and creating their own games, and for the love of what they do, they are doing it pretty well. They are creative partners working together to design some of the most impactful games of this generation. The novel dwells their successes, their failures, their emotion about a thing that they love beyond their collective lives and the trauma that they live, and also the messiness of their relationship as two very strong-willed individuals, a man and a woman, and making their mark in the tech industry. It's about friendship, love, rivalry, jealousy, and competitiveness. I found that it was not just a story about gaming or getting into more of the technical details, but behind the scenes we see the human nature around it, the creativity, the ambition, the art, and how people evolve over time and with age. The gaming world is central to their narrative, but what is constant is their very human nature around it. The themes of creation, loss, and creativity are universal. This is not something that happens to just one person, but all of us goes through these motions when we are trying to go after a thing that we so dearly love, trying to make our careers, and what happens everything in between, how we handle our relationships, how we just fly too close to the sun maybe sometimes, and maybe just we accept our failures for what they are. If you have already read Normal People by Sally Rooney, you will find it on a similar theme, where that novel also captures the very intense and complicated dynamics in a friendship turned relationship scenario. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow explores the lives of Sadie and Sam, their highs and lows through the lens of art and creation. This section of the video is called writing, and I always pride myself on looking deeper into the writing of the book because that's one of the elements that speaks to me the most. I am a fan of good writing, and this book is very simple to read. It doesn't have very complicated prose, I like to say that, but even then I found it very impactful and fun to read. It has a dialogue kind of narrative where things are going back and forth between the two protagonists, and it's written in third person, not first person, from the perspective of either Sam or Sadie or any of the third person narrative. It is just you reading thoughts about Sam and Sadie and other filling characters in the story. Zevin's writing is vibrant, detailed, and very immersive. She weaves an intricate narrative that makes both the gaming world and the lives of Sam and Sadie come alive. Each chapter has its own rhythm, with some sections written in prose, others reflecting in-game dialogues or alternate reality, which keeps the storytelling very fresh and engaging. I haven't seen a writing style like this. It is very unique because it follows the rhyme of the story, what is needed at what point in the story, and it is only the writer that knows what to give to the readers that they did not know the need in their life. So that is the sign of a good writer, and I will give it to Zevin for that. There is a quote from the book that really encapsulated Zevin's mastery in blending creativity and human emotion. What is a game? It's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. It is the possibility of infinite rebirth, infinite redemption. The idea that if you keep playing, you could win. No loss is permanent because nothing is permanent ever. Don't you think this perfectly captures the heart of the story? And now that I think about it, I don't want to go into the spoilers, but you will see that the book ends on a similar note where there is no wins and losses. It is just probably an infinite game that the protagonist will keep playing with each other. Who is to know? I will like you to find out when you read the book. But these lines mirrors the ongoing evolution of Sam and Sadie over the years. Zevin's writings balances high concepts idea with very raw human emotion. Even if you are not a gamer, the emotional core of the story will speak to you. Just like normal people, it is not a romantic relationship. It is not about that. It is about the very raw and real people, two people who are seemingly normal, but they find themselves in messy situations. This is sort of the same on a very saner level, I would like to say. And I really like the backdrop of gaming because I work in tech, and as a woman in tech, it was very interesting to look at the story from the perspective of another woman, Sadie, and how she is battling all the misogyny and trying to fight her internal misogyny as she wants to make a career in gaming, in tech. And she's just like any other normal woman who doesn't want a lot of acclaim for herself. She's not there to fight all the norms that have been going on in the industry for so long. She only wants to do her work well. She only wants to create art through her games, and that is what was very interesting for me to see. To me, it was one of my top picks, but there are always some lowlights that speak to other readers, and I'm going to dive into them now. Some readers might feel like the pacing was very uneven and it was very uncertain at times, giving it a very unreliable way to connect with both the protagonists. Certain sections also dive deep into the technical aspect of gaming development, which might not be very interesting and engaging to all the readers. To me, it spoke because I could understand some of the terms and I could understand and relate to how competitive the industry can be. For everyone, it might feel like a story that's made up in the air, but from my experience, I like to assert that it was certainly something like that. It was certainly something that was very real. I have read a few Goodread reviews about the book as well after I was done with it, and a few readers also reported that they found the arc of Sam and Sadie's relationship too repetitive, and they found it extremely frustrating that they are going back in circles about the same thing and they are creating miscommunication about the same thing. But to me, much like normal people, the ebb and flow of emotion and the ebb and flow of people keep flowing, and there is no one size fit all for our emotions. We are made out of our habits and biases, and of course we run back in circles to our own bad habits as well. So why would we not reflect that in the relationships around us? And this is very real to me personally. It spoke of the emotional depth that the narrator, that the author is trying to reflect. It was perfectly fine for me. For some readers, it might not be. Different people read into things differently and they get frustrated about different things differently. So if that is something that you don't like, I will assure you that it's not just you. It is a lot of other readers who have felt the same way. The almost penultimate section of my videos is the highlights, and to me, as I said, the main highlight was Sadie's character. I am not going to say I saw myself in her, but I certainly was able to relate to a young woman trying to make it big in tech. She looks up to other mentors, male mentors, her teachers, and she's also trying to prove herself as a very young woman in the industry. For that, she burns herself out. She does things that she's not too proud of, and in the mess, she's just trying to be a better person. And sometimes she also finds those who are very close to her misunderstanding her and pointing fingers at her for something that she did as a young person when she did not know any better. She also goes through a lot of trauma and grief in the book, something that I could also relate to, and I found myself crying with her and feeling isolated with her. That is when she find her recluse, her sanctuary in video games and creating video games. That is what she knows the best. And I was really impressed by how well her character develops. Of course, there is Sam, who is there to complement her very messy nature. This is not to say that Sam is calm himself. He also reacts to Sadie's action, and there is a kind of synergy back and forth that goes between the two of them. And because, as I said, they met as kid and they had very strong personalities. They know each other too long to overlook the vices that often gets overlooked when we are just around acquaintances. So that is what happens to their relationship. But also because they know themselves for so long and then they know what the love of video games mean to them. It's also a beautiful story about collaboration and creativity that grows in that collaboration. The novel does a really good job of showing the real highs and lows of a creative process, which is more about failure than just success. If you are going to get success in the first go, I don't think so. You're going to feel like you're creating art, you are creating something worthwhile. You will have to fail 100 times before you arrive at one thing that works for you, that works for your creative juices and for your ambition. And this is very well reflected in the writing. I could relate because sometimes I'm trying to create a video or I'm trying to create content that is speaking the most to myself and also to the viewers who want to tap into it, and I find myself failing multiple times in my own thoughts, and it certainly does a number on my confidence. But then you wake up, then you get up, and then you start over again. And I found myself being very reassured that I am doing a process, and in processes you fail. So this is a very good book that highlights how art, whether it is video games or a very beautifully written novel, comes with its own set of conflicts, can both be a source of connection and conflict. Sam and Sadie's relationship is the heart of the book, and their dynamics is written with such nuance and care. It is a love story, but not in the traditional sense of the way. You know how when you have friends who are so compatible with you, not in the romantic or intimate sense, you feel that we belong together, we make such good art, or we make such good company. This is what this love is about. It is a love letter to friendship, creativity, and all what binds us together as one. Many Goodread readers also highlighted the fact that the novel also explores gaming as an art, which is not done a lot of times. It explores the power of games as art and storytelling, and how games like literature can help us escape the trauma of our life, the bad in our life, when we don't want to confront reality. That blend of gaming culture with real life emotion is where Zevin's writing truly shines. Concluding, for me, this book was a 5-star read. This is going to go down as my top picks for 2024. I'm already only 10 books in, but I feel I needed this kick, I needed this out from my reading slump, and this book came at the right time for me. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is a 5-star read for me. It is like Normal People, but for gamers. A story about love, loss, relationship, and the power of creativity. I found that the author has written a novel that is deeply humane and very unique, reminding us that life, like games, gives us infinite chances to start over. I'm going to highly recommend this book for people who like fast-paced, interesting, engaging novels about human emotion, and they want to know more about the world around themselves, just not what they do in particular. To some, this might look like a book, a piece of fiction that is just a story, but I also learned so many things from the book. That is what happens. I learned so many words. I learned things about mythology. I learned things about art in the real sense of the way. So if you are someone like that who would like to broaden their horizon with more knowledge and information about what goes on in the world, then this is going to be the book for you, against the backdrop of gaming and art and two very interesting protagonists who are going to stay with you long after you get done with this book. And that's about it. That is my review for Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel. I make book related videos here, and if you want to know more about me, what I do on my time when I'm not talking about books, please check out my main channel. The link is going to be in the description box below. I'm going to also put an affiliate link for this book in the description box below. So if you want to support me and support this recommendation, and if you want to buy this book for yourself, please make sure you check out my affiliate link. I'm going to get a portion of the commission. And that way, because my channel is not monetized yet, I am able to make these videos and spend some time doing what I love the most way, is talk about books. I will see you guys next time. Until then, happy reading.